and that would give us our retest our database out. Not do that just yet. I'm going to carry on for the moment. Just check we've got everything done. So we've got minimized data duplication. We're going to assume it can set the data provided. We'll check that in a second. Uses naming conventions. Seems to be fine. And ensures data integrity. And so our next one is table structures and validations. Now, arguably you could do this before or after entering your data, because this itself is actually validation. In reality, as long as you're entering the data correctly, it shouldn't matter which way you actually do it. And so in this case, you can just enter it in there. So that's what we'll do now. So we'll scroll back up and just chuck this in there. So if we go to volunteer, sorry, volunteer. So we've got volunteer surname. Now you notice that there's multiple instances of Frost and Genesec. You only ever want to include a person once, because you notice that Frost and his number do not change, so they're obviously the same person. And so when we do this, we only want to include each person once. Let's see, 6, 2, 7, 8, 3, 1. Perfect. Right, that's our 2 people. As you see, made sure we linked the volunteer ID as well, so they're both 1 and 2. And they're all linked to a district, which is very important right now. Okay, so the next thing we do is go to district, because that's the next in our chain. And we're going to go, and just little points here before we carry on. Always work backwards, so start with volunteer, then district, then beaches, and UD review. If you go the other way forward, you might get a problem with the thing letting you enter data in, so always start downwards like this. Let's get the district, so in this case we've got, the 1 is, let's just check, yeah, district 1 is Boroughside. And the volunteer ID, well, that's with number 1 Frost, so we put 1 in there. That's all that one is. The next one is Crim Buston, and that's with volunteer number 2. And we've got North End, and that again is volunteer number 1. Notice how again there's multiple entry trees, but I'm just keeping the 1 in each place. Let's go to beaches. Now we've got Castle Beach. The beach type is sandy. And that's a lifeguard. You could also do a drop down box for your beach type, but this shouldn't be necessary. If you wanted to do that, you can go into the formatting tab and change the format to be a drop down and put a lookup list in there, but I won't go for that just yet. We can cover that later if it's needed. And district ID, oh, is that down? District ID is going to be 1 in this case. Then we've got Norbaston. This one is sand and shingle. There is no lifeguard, and this district is number 2. And there's side wind. Okay. Be careful where you click, it doesn't like if you click off the wrong place. Sand and rock. It's got a lifeguard, so we can click that. And this one's number 3. Then we have the yearly review. This is where all the data that you put elsewhere can be chucked in here. So we'll go yearly review 2018. Now this one you can actually have duplicates because it's a primary key, but it's got 2 primary keys, so it should let us put duplicates in it. This one's been cleaned twice this year. The most collected was 120. cleanliness was given a 1. The beach ID was castle, which we know to be 1. Then we've got 2019. It was cleaned twice. And the view which collector, sorry, was 149. The cleanliness rating was a 2. That was again with castle. We then got 2018. Notice how it's a duplicate, but it's letting me allow it because of the 2 primary keys. This one was 221, and the rubbish collected. Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. That should be number of cleans. So that should have been 1 clean. 221 collected. I had a rating of 2. Beach ID in this case is 2. In 2019. You should see a slight pattern here. Everything is going exactly the same way as the one before it. It's a case of looking at each line and filling out the data we haven't yet entered. This is the last table. And as you can see, it starts to form a little bit of a pattern. This one was given a review of 3. And the beach ID was 2 again. And then finally, we have 2018. Number of cleans was 1. There was 247 collected. So I got that one wrong, so I'll clear this one off first and I'll fix that. Always check your dates. If you make a mistake, that's fine, just remember to change it. So in this case, this would be a cleanliness rating of a 2. And beach ID was 3 in this case. This one you can see I made a It's interesting, that should be fine. Sometimes this will throw little errors. When that happens, the best thing to do is to try and problem with Axis, it has a habit of blocking itself out, so when you do something in it that's not working, it will have a habit of stopping you from changing anything. If that happens, delete all the values in the entry. And just put any value node to work in there, which in this case is a 1. And then put an unusual year in that we know it's not the same, and you'll see it saves the record. If you do that, just delete it. That happens quite a lot of Access. If there's a slight error, you can block you in. It's trying to maintain integrity. If that happens, just delete all the values, look at what it's asked you to include. When you've included that, add some data you know to be correct that's not related to anything else, you can delete the record. That will allow you to go into your record and see where something's gone wrong. In this case, we have got a third beach, and it is linked to a separate district. So let's make sure all of these are saved. And close this down again. Then we can start from the beginning and try re-entering it. So 2018. Number of cleans was 1. The beach in this case, rubbish collected was 247. The cleanliness was 2. The beach ID was 3, and it should now work. Yeah. So it's most likely the file wasn't actually saved in that case. So always make sure you're saved and close your tabs down, or else you can get boxed out like I just did there. Yeah, remember we've got our false value here. You can go into there and change to 229. And there's the final value of 2019, which has number of cleans as 0, number of collected as 0, cleanliness as a 2, that beach ID of 3 again. And that's all the data entered in. You're going to save that, close that, and we have a fully completed table as intended.